For myself, I started working in a recovery learning community, which is a very neat way of working in the peer specialist field, I think. Every single person who's employed in the recovery learning community has lived experience. Some of the other roles, there's like a combination of clinicians and, you know, counselors and peer specialists. So recovery learning community, the difference is that they're completely staffed by people with lived experience. And we get to go into the different communities and run support groups. We also provide spaces for people to drop in and get, you know, one-on-one peer support or attend different activities within their communities. We do a lot of you know, trying to change and influence the system to be more supportive of people that have experienced mental health challenges in their life. So it's a really great place to work, and I found it incredibly rewarding and you know, nice because also, as Gus was saying, that there's some documentation around different roles. We didn't have to provide that same documentation, being fully staffed with peers, so that was nice to not have to worry about that aspect of things. But I find it to be a great community. There's resources in really every area of Massachusetts. You can type in recovery learning community and you're going to find one in Western Mass. You're going to find one in Merrimack Valley. You're going to find one in North Shore. So they're really anywhere, and you just sort of type in recovery learning community in a Google search in your area and something will come up.
So what's it like working as a peer support worker? Laura mentioned working in a clubhouse, and there's recovery learning centers as well, RLCs. I think for me, the most interesting is probably working in a clinical setting, like at a hospital or a residential. I'm currently at a residential, and it can be challenging because everyone has their own role, that they're all trying to achieve their own things. When you're working in a place that's more clinical, the peer specialist is kind of probably the only one on the team. You might be lucky if you have one other. There's ways that you can work around that though. We usually have these like monthly meetings where we connect with all the other peer specialists and other residentials and things like that. We support each other that way and have a community of practice. And the idea behind that is just like clinicians would or doctors, they sit down, they go over kind of some of the things that they're doing in their work. How can they improve? We host trainings for ourselves to better ourselves. And so that's really nice to have. It really depends what setting you're in, because, you know, in a residential, for example, you're doing a lot of one-on-one work. You know, RLC, you might be going in the community doing groups, or you might be hosting them at a actual physical space where they can come see you. If you work on an ACCS team or a mobile team, you might get assigned a caseload of people you work with, and you make your own schedule and you drive to them, and everyone's very different. So there's a lot of room for peer support work. You can do it in shelters, you can do it in AA places. There's so many, I can't even name them all. There's so many ways to apply what you've been through and use it to be gainfully employed. But most jobs are going to be through an agency for the most part. There are other jobs that are not through agency, like nonprofits and things like that, or groups. But typically, it's a lot of fun. It has its challenges, but I wouldn't change it for the world.